Once upon a time, in a cosy barn, in a small farmyard, there lived a family of cats. Daddy was a large marmalade cat, a skilled hunter, who liked nothing better than a day spent roaming the fields and catching mice. Mammy was a pure white long-haired cat, who didn't have nearly enough hours in the day to groom her beautiful coat as well as look after her new kittens. The family had grown very large all of a sudden, with the birth of 8 new kittens, all of whom had to be fed, cleaned and kept safe and warm. 4 of the kittens looked just like their daddy, with thick marmalade fur, and 3 of them were snow white, just like their mammy. One of them, however, was a bit of a puzzle. He was the smallest of the litter, and had earned the nickname Scrap, because he was made up of scraps of both his parents. He was mostly white, but with a marmalade tail and a strip of the same colour over his left eye. Sometimes when their parents weren't looking, his brothers and sisters were mean to him. Because he was a mixture, they said he couldn't be on the white team, but he couldn't be on the marmalade team either. And some nights at story time, the white kittens would take up all the warm spaces beside their snow white mammy, and the marmalade kittens would snuggle up close to their daddy, leaving no room for Scrap, who just curled his own magnificent tail around himself to keep warm. By the time the kittens were 10 weeks old, Daddy and Mammy Cat were at their wits' end, trying to keep them all in order. They were hoping that Mr. Farmer would find a new home for them sooner rather than later. And so, one by one, the kittens started leaving home. Scrap watched each of them in turn being picked up, cuddled, and carried off to a new life. Every day he would stroll across the farmyard when he saw a new car drive in, hoping this would be his day to be picked. He would swish his glorious tail to show them how beautiful he was. He would pounce on anything that moved to show off his hunting skills. But no one seemed to see him. They chose instead the fluffy white kittens who looked just like his mammy, or the perfectly marmalade cats who looked just like his daddy. Nobody seemed to want a kitten who looked just like him. Finally, Scrappy was the only kitten left. He didn't mind too much. At least now there was no one around to tease and be mean to him. But somewhere out there, beyond the farmyard gate, he knew there were adventures to be had. Was he going to have to wait till he was all grown up to leave home? He hoped not. So if you'd like to find out how Scrap the Cat found his new home, you can get the book by contacting my publisher at choicepublishing.ie or email me at scrapthecat@yahoo.com. Thanks for listening.